Welcome back to the Headspace and Tasting Podcast, where we talk manhood, tell stories, and discuss the stuff that matters to us one sip at a time. Hello, Kevin.
What up?
Beautiful day outside. I feel like we always mention the weather, what it's doing here in East Central Missouri, but 80 degrees outside, sunny.
Yeah, we're back on a warming trend.
Yeah. Is it going to be hot this coming week?
80s.
Going up
I think
in the 80s?
mid upper 80s.
Weird. Oh, well. What episode is today? 43? 43. Episode 43. And we are tasting today. I picked up a bottle of Penelope bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey. It is their 4-grain whiskey. Corn, rye, wheat, and malted barley. But this is blended in a very unique way. Kevin, you had some notes on it, right?
Yeah, it's blended of wheat and rye bourbon mash bills separately. They're aged separately before being blended and bottled. Then once they're all blended, they're aged in barrels charred with number 4 staves and number 2 heads.
Oh, okay.
And then they bottle it. It is 75% corn, 15% wheat, 7% rye, 3% malted barley. The minimum of 4 years, and it is at the 80 proof level, which is the exact minimum in order to be called legally a bourbon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
this is distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Another one distilled in Indiana. That place must be full of whiskey stills.
Yeah.
Either that or it's all in the same factory.
Could be the same one.
By Penelope Bourbon Bottling Company, Bardstown, Kentucky. So this is, it says first steps in quotes, non-chill filtered. So what is the significance of first steps?
First steps, that's their marketing. And that's why it is probably at its lowest level of 80 proof, because they are marketing to a certain demographic, and that is women, younger drinkers, and beginners.
Yeah, young ladies.
And I would agree. If you're looking to start out and try to drink bourbon, this would be a decent one to start with. I mean, it's someone who's experienced as a bourbon drinker and wants to drink bourbon, you can leave this one on the shelf.
Yeah, this to me, I was like, this kind of like fake bourbon, or what I said, the Boone's Farm of bourbons. You know, everybody just gets it. It's not disgusting, but you can tell it has been heavily watered down to get to that 80 proof. The color is a straw color.
It's the lightest one we've tried.
It's the lightest one. It looks, like I said, it looks like apple brandy or something.
Yes.
And I thought Penelope was a St. Louis company.
I did too. I don't know what their connection is. I haven't done any research on Penelope.
Maybe they just have a distributor here that's pushing hard, but they're everywhere in St. Louis area. Mm-hmm. So what did you get when you first took your first sniff? What did you think?
Well, first it was light. So if I was looking for a summer bourbon, this would be it.
Imagine if you put this on ice.
Right. Yeah, because
disappear.
It has fruity notes on the aroma. Mm-hmm. And when I'm saying fruity, I'm talking melon, like maybe cantaloupe or honeydew. Not the typical fruit you would get from a bourbon.
Yeah, I got pears and apples. So it's more wine aromas,
yes,
I think, than I was surprised by that.
Yep. And the taste went the same way. The thing that actually stood out for me, I mean, I could tell you that there's a little bit of hint of butterscotch, there's a hint of oak, which those things are in there. But for me, it was dominated. It seemed to have a lemon zest to it, and a little bit of spice, very light. So
doesn't burn.
Yeah, if you wanted to know, that's kind of the feel of a bourbon. I think that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I first tasted cherries, but it wasn't dark cherries. I put dark fruit on my graph here, but that's not correct. Is more like a white cherry. Like you ever had a drink like a Capri Sun that's white cherries or something that's weird like that?
Capri Sun. That's yeah, Capri Sun.
Like a cherry flavored Capri Sun.
They had another one. It's not tropical fruit. There was another one. The kids really like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
It's been decades since I've
again,
even had
summery.
one. Yeah, something. Yeah, it has kind of an oily mouth feel to me. Like if you swish it all around your mouth, it does coat your mouth kind of, in an oily way. And I did taste a little bit of melons as well. On the finish, I said it has almost zero heat, but it does have a little bit that comes on late. It's not an immediate punch in the mouth. It's just as you breathe, it kind of builds a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit of a woody aftertaste.
Yeah. My overall description was it's light everything. And everything from the color to the smell to the taste to the finish, everything is light. And, again, if you're looking to be a beginner, this would be the one for you.
Yeah, like let's say you're on a date and your lady wants to try a whiskey, a bourbon. This would be the one to probably start with there. But how many stars do you give in this, Kevin?
Well, because our show is about bourbon.
Yeah.
I'm only going to give it 1 star.
Same, 1 star. If it were about marketing and the whiskey industry in general, I'd say they're looking to find a niche, and they seem to probably do pretty good there.
I'd bump it up from that perspective, but not if I'm going to compare it to bourbon.
No way.
And the 4 grain's interesting. So, I know why they use the 4 grain, because when you introduce rye into a bourbon, the reason why you're doing that is you're trying to create the spiciness in a bourbon, give it that bite.
Yeah.
And the reason why they introduce the wheat is they want to mellow it out and sweeten it up a little bit. That's what the wheat is going to do, because you can't get corn by itself. You can do 100% corn, but you're not going to get a lot of flavor out of it.
Right.
So you mix it up, you add the wheat to it, you add the rye, you got the malted barley in there. That's what gives you the full body flavor. And in their case, I think that's why they added all of them to it, to try and give it a good balance.
Where did you rate it on the body?
I'd be interested if they had
balance.
a 4 grain cask strength.
Yeah.
To compare.
Right.
Where they didn't actually water it down any to get it to 80 proof.
Because I'm sure they make a wheated bourbon or a wheated whiskey and then a rye.
Yeah, but I want to do their 4 grain cask strength.
Like this, but cask strength without the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see what it looks like.
Yeah, that would be interesting. So my body, I'm like middle of the road as far as body and a little bit. I thought it was well balanced. Like what they did was fairly well balanced for what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I had it middle of the road for that. I was low on the body, low on the legs. Went a little bit higher on sweet, citrus, floral, spicy, and linger a little bit, but everything else is much lower.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a little too sweet for me. Honestly, like I said, it'd probably make me sick to my stomach before I got drunk. It's just.
Well, our intent is not to get drunk.
No. I don't know. I'm curious to let Caitlin try it and see what she thinks. I bet she would like it.
Sure.
She'd probably be like, "Ooh, that's actually pleasant."
It might not be bad in certain cocktails.
Maybe. But I really feel like it would be overpowered by anything you mixed it with. If you put this with a ginger ale, I think it would just disappear. Want to try it?
I think the ginger ale, I think that's what you're going to come down to. You'll be drinking a fruity ginger ale.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they'll come down to.
Yeah. All right, well, these are the days that try men's souls, right, Kevin?
They have been lately.
We were talking about a topic. What do we want to talk about? What do we, what's on our minds? And it's just a discussion I had with my son after Charlie Kirk was killed. He's 24, and he was just like, man, if something like that happens, it just shows you that there's good and evil in the world. Like there's a clear line. And it begs the question, like, what's right and what is wrong today? Have we lost our way? Have we gotten too tolerant in some areas?
Do we even know what right and wrong is?
Right. Where are you getting your bearings from? We had the stabbing in Charlotte on the train where everybody just sat there and let that girl bleed out. Nobody did anything to help her. I don't expect somebody to fight a guy who just stabbed a woman that is armed with a knife and you don't have any way to, but afterwards when she's just bleeding, like nobody did anything. People just feel like it's not my job or I don't want to get involved. We have, the Charlie Kirk situation, assassination, and then the shooting at the Dallas ICE facility, which wasn't the first shooting at an ICE facility. It seems like this political violence is ramping up a little bit. We saw like
So far it's ramping up on one side.
Right. There was the Minnesota politician and her husband and dog were killed by some wacko who claimed to be right wing, I guess. But besides that, I don't know. You still have the what are they called? The Proud Boys? Is that what they're called still? Or are they
they're still out there.
The ones that wear the khaki pants and the masks and stuff. They have like their shirts tucked in, polo shirts tucked in.
They're still out there.
Yeah.
They just did a demonstration a couple days ago. I saw some footage of.
But they're not, so far, they're not violent. They're just...
No, and the demonstration I saw was the violence against them.
Yeah. Yeah. Even at the Charlie Kirk memorials that were like on the streets, people were coming in and kicking over candles or trying to disrupt. So it's like, what the heck is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
What are we supposed to do about it?
I don't know. That's a $50 million question. I know what we're not supposed to do about it. And if someone wants to mouth off their opinion, positive or negative, about what happened, I don't think that they should be censored or kicked off something or fired in any way.
No.
That's our free speech right.
Yes.
And, I'm tired of the gotcha moments as well. I mean, Kimmel's the good one. Kimmel, he was kicked off the air for a bit with ABC.
Mm-hmm.
The White House got involved with that. But the exact same thing happened on the flip side, on the backside. So now you got everyone on the left going after the White House for pressuring ABC to take Kimmel off the air. Kimmel's back on the air. But the same group who's saying, oh, you're violating free speech, are the same people that put conservatives off the air.
Right.
A few years back. We have such short-term memory, we don't even remember what we did a week ago. And, free speech is free speech. And
even what people call hate speech is free speech.
Yeah. I'm against hate laws, actually, because, murder is murder.
Yeah, you can't get much more hateful than that. If you want to charge
somebody for murder and give them the death penalty, what's the difference if you charge them with a hate crime murder and you still give them the death penalty? The outcome's still the same.
I'm against the death penalty for a number of reasons. But I understand why it's a thing. But so there's a difference between justice and vengeance, right?
Yeah, I think the only time the death penalty is effective is if it's carried out the way it's supposed to be done.
immediately.
I don't believe that anybody should be arrested, charged with the crime, and you don't have your first start of your trial until 2 to 3 years after the crime was committed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what's wrong with our system.
And then they let them out on parole, and they're walking around, you know.
Or you put them on death row, and then they're there for the next 20 years before they get executed because they're walking through the so-called appeal process all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take 20 years to do it.
No, so we have a right to a speedy trial, but some people waive that right, I guess, saying, no, I'll wait until, I don't really know what that means now, a right to a speedy trial. So they can keep you in jail, keep you like no bail for 3 years or whatever, and then you're going up for your arraignment after that. Like you're just now going to trial.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy. And you're not guilty of anything yet. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Right. So there is no real consequence, or we don't see consequence to what happens to someone else. There's a crime committed and it takes this long for something to happen as a result of that. So, you know, we see it and, you know, maybe I have an idea of something I want to do that's illegal. And I've been, you know, holding back on it. And then I find out that, well, if all this is taking place and nothing ever happens, then that gives me the green light. I don't feel so bad about doing it. My conscience will be a little bit more towards, I'm going to go ahead and do that because
it's kind of like the immigration situation.
Push my outcome out.
You know, the illegal immigration ramps up when there's no consequences for it. When it's obvious that the authorities are not going to enforce the law. So why not? I mean, why wouldn't you want to get into the United States? This is the greatest country on earth. I don't blame anybody for wanting to get here, legal or illegal. But we are a nation of laws, you know, and there's a right way to do everything. Now, there's a better way to do it for sure. And that we have systems in place, we're supposed to anyway, in this country, to fix issues that we see like, hey, this isn't working. We need to change it. We should be able to change it.
Right. And, you know, in the aftermath of the Kirk assassination, Congress, there was groups there in Congress who filed a bill to publicly declare an end to political violence. Now, it wasn't worded very well, but I understood the intent.
Like a truce, like, hey, this is enough.
And what happened? They downplay the talk on the news. I think 58 Democrats, 52 Democrats voted no on the measure. The measure didn't pass. What they don't tell you is the fact that no Democrat voted for the bill. The rest of them either abstained from voting or just didn't show up to vote. So it was still zero Democrat.
The Republicans have a majority. So there had to have been some Republicans that did the same thing.
There might have been, I don't understand what the voting was, but I do know that there wasn't a Democrat who voted for it.
Yeah, so there had to have been some Republicans that didn't either voted no or didn't show up.
But I didn't actually agree with the wording of it. I think if it was just a flat out, you know, we decry political violence in any way. I think if they would have just kept it simple to 2 sentences.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what Charlie Kirk was all about. That's why he was putting himself out there to talk to all these people, and then he got shot for it.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, so what's the answer to that? Do we take the same line that his wife did and forgive them? Turn the other cheek?
That's what we're supposed to do.
That's what we're called to do, right? Forgive those who trespass against us. You know, or forgive us our sins of those who trespass against us. Like, that's what I've been telling myself, man. You can't, having hate in your heart for somebody or anger in your heart, it's just like you're drinking poison to spite that other person. You know, doesn't help anything.
Well, and this is how I know that we're not improving as a country overall. We might have individuals that made a change. We might have small groups, different cells within the nation that may have seen some improvement. But overall, the entire nation, his assassination was barely 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it wasn't like a 9/11 moment.
And so here you go, everyone is reacting in a certain way and saying, I'm going to change my life. I'm not going to talk bad. I'm not going to promote political violence. I'm going to tone down my rhetoric, um, on and on and on. And what are you seeing today? All you got to do is look at the news today or look at what's going on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, TikTok, on your phone. What are you going to find? The same vitriol, the same political hack, the same arguments, the same bitterness, the same hate, the same rage that we saw 3 weeks and 2 days ago. So nothing's changed.
So let me ask you this, though, Kevin. Have you seen any of that in person, in real life?
No.
Me neither.
Yes, but I had to attend an event to see it, which was at a library.
Okay.
So yes, I saw it once, but generally, I don't see any protests on our street corners around here. I don't see people running up and down the street. Uh,
There were some disturbing things, like during the video, the shooting.
Like when it happened, you can see there's like one person who's jumping up and down for joy and celebrating. Like as he's bleeding out there on the stage.
Yeah.
Like that. That's like, dude, you're so lost. I feel like, what is in your heart?
yeah, it's not about your political opinion. It's the fact that somebody just got shot and is bleeding out,
Yeah.
and you celebrate that.
Yeah. And
That's
on video for the rest of your life.
that's
That's
kind
going
of
to be,
scary.
that's crazy.
I have seen a lot of videos of people like, look, I never paid attention to what Charlie Kirk said, and I just thought he was just a typical right wing racist bigot, blah blah blah. But since this happened, I started watching more of his content, and now they feel the impact of what he was trying to do. God can take horrible things and turn them for his good. That's all I know. And I think this happens. This is happening a little bit. It's happening. Like my son went to church with me again. He's just said, I think I need to go to church because there's, and that's a step. That's not, you know, uh, going to give you salvation, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Start asking the questions, start having the conversations about what is good, what is bad, what's evil.
Well, there's something to be said about bad things happening. If you went your entire life where everything was good, nothing bad ever happened, you always got what you wanted or got what you needed, you always stayed healthy, those around you.
Yeah, you would have.
Why would you want to think that there is such a thing as a God?
Yeah.
It's the bad stuff that makes you realize there is such a thing as a God. Because that's when you need them.
Well,
people won't forget about him in the good times, but they'll need him and lean on him and figure out who he is, what he is, why he is what he is, and really dig into it and and maybe come out on the other side a different person than where you were if you had nothing but good stuff happening your whole life.
Yeah, not only would you have a very shallow character, but you would have no concept of the real world, of what actually, that you wouldn't see the light if there was no darkness, type of thing.
Right.
Like that kind of the yin yang, whatever you want to call it. But, go back to my point about have you seen anything in person? The mainstream media, we know, if you're a thinking person, you have to know that is all manipulation of, like, everything's an emergency, everything's an alert, everything's the worst thing that ever happened. But then they'll cut to commercials and try to sell you some prescription drugs.
They need it for ratings.
That's all it is. And if they profit off us being divided. Mm-hmm. Same thing with social media. Social media is used as a marketing tool and manipulation. That they are trying to hook you in, get us arguing amongst each other. But if you notice, as you're scrolling through Facebook, you'll see advertisements, YouTube, you get commercials on everything. And the algorithm is tracking what you click on and what you engage in, so it knows how to market to you more.
If you want to know, so I'm a big believer, and there's no one could ever prove different, but what you look at, what goes into your mind, gets into your heart,
Yes.
and that's what's going to eventually come out.
Just like the food you eat.
Yes.
You know, the
And
food
if
you
you
put in your
really want to
body.
know how true that is, all you have to do is get on Facebook and just go to the reels.
Mhm.
And, there's a whole bunch of them. You could scroll through them. Instagram will do the same thing. But you pop on something that you look at. Let's say it could be a street protest and you see a beatdown happening.
Mhm.
And you watch that short 30-second video. And when you scroll down to the next one, guess what pops up?
Yeah.
A different one. And you keep going and you realize that your phone automatically filtered into the thing that you focused
Yeah,
on.
that's the algorithm is seeing what you pause and watch.
And so what your phone is showing you routinely is what your brain is saying, this is what I want.
Mhm.
And so challenge yourself and find something good, watch that, same situation,
Yeah.
and scroll down, and you're going to find that those same things will pop up. Now, this is where the devil comes in, because then you're going to get every fifth video will be another video about the beatdown you're watching before.
Yeah, reaction to the video.
And if you go down that rabbit hole, it will be all beatdowns after
Yeah.
that. Or if you just skip it right away and keep going on the good path that you're shooting for, more and more options will pop up of more good things.
Yeah.
And so, what are you putting into your brain? What are you watching? Or just get off the phone altogether and start focusing on the world around you. I think that's a big thing right there.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. I don't have any. I don't have any the traditional social media. I have YouTube, a YouTube app on my phone, and Reddit. And I use Reddit because there's the Cardinals and Blues subreddits that I like to follow.
You can get
And
reviews on Reddit too.
yeah, good reviews of biking, like there's gravel bike stuff and,
Sure.
and bike packing that I follow. But it'll throw in stuff just like the other social media sites. It'll have like suggestions of, oh, James Comey just got indicted, and then I'll look on the comments, and it's all just the most vitriolic, hateful. Trump is a Nazi and he's trying to political. It's the farthest left wing of the left. Like these people are the ones celebrating Kirk's murder.
For all I know,
And
it could be all AI generated.
it mostly is. I think Joe Rogan had a former FBI agent on his show. He said it's about 80 to 85% of the comments on social media now that are not in your friends list are all bot generated. There's these bot farms in India and China, and it's a form of warfare that's going on. Israel has it, we have it, Russia, India, all these countries are all doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all designed to get us to fight against each other. Remember our motto: united we stand and divided we fall.
Yep.
Our enemies know that if we are divided, then we're easy target. So biblically, we're called to forgive and to turn the other cheek. Is there ever a time to retaliate, or is there a difference between retaliation and defending yourself?
Well, just the words you used are two different things.
Yeah.
Retaliation is not defense.
Right.
Retaliation would be the equivalent of vengeance.
Yes.
Could be.
Yeah. So does the Bible say that you shouldn't defend yourself, that you should just accept
No, it doesn't.
the violence that comes upon
No.
you? It doesn't, right? But it definitely says that vengeance is for the Lord, that we should not have vengeful hearts, right? We should not seek out revenge, because that's not for us to do. We shouldn't be, like I said, that's like drinking poison to spite your enemies.
Right. So, I mean, if you want to, going back to our original question, what do we do about that?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do about this? I think it comes back down to the self, who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and you're focusing on the immediate circle around you, because what you do creates a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And it might not be obvious, but I guarantee you that there is a ripple effect to your actions and your behavior.
Yeah, the people who you come in contact with throughout the day, Like there's a certain energy that you can put off. You know, I'm not getting into like the woo woo aura and all that kind of junk, but you know, what you're putting into your body is what's going to come out, and other people will be affected by that.
Right. And so you can, just like you do for exercise or studying for a test or something like that, you train your body, you train your mind to be positive, not negative. It takes work and effort.
Yes, it does.
And so that's where I was talking before. I've said it many times, and recently I was writing about it. And I tried to write. I did a brain dump of everything I can think of that I can do in a normal day that would be good, and at least from my perspective, right? And it comes down to give someone a hug, say hello, say please and thank you,
Hmm.
open the door for someone, uh, give a gift, help somebody carry something. If someone drops something, pick it up for them before they get to it,
Hmm.
or at least make the effort. Uh, and my list goes on and on and on about all these things that you can be doing. You see a mess, clean it up. Is there trash on the ground next to the trash can? Pick it up, put it in the trash can.
Yeah.
Is it going to break your heart
Right.
that it's so bad? And think about this too. Driving is the best example. You're driving down the road, and you're going to come up to an intersection, and someone pulls out in front of you. You know, they come out and they make that
Mhm.
right turn, and they're in your lane. And then you yell and scream at the person, and your blood pressure just went up. You're upset. Your face just turned red. You're, on and on. You're cussing. You weren't doing it before. And the person that you're doing it at has no clue of your reaction.
Yeah.
And their day is just as fine as it was
Yeah.
30 seconds ago.
Right.
It was you that had the bad reaction. Why not react? Don't react that way.
Yeah.
Everyone has their moment with their driving. Slow, put on your brake and just keep driving.
Could have just been a simple mistake.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe
But
the kids
it's a choice that you make. You can make the choice. We have a path. When you're driving down that path, you can go to the left, you can go to the right. And I'm not meaning politically.
Mhm.
So somebody does their thing and they have no idea, but you are completely upset about that. That was the path you decided to take versus staying on the other path of where you were prior to that. And then
Yeah, it
in
doesn't
5 minutes, you're going to forget that even happened.
it doesn't really affect your day if somebody pulls out in front of you. Like, what do you get slowed down by 2 seconds? You know, unless they're like almost hit you and you had to swerve off the road and you go in a ditch, like that affects your day. It's how you react to it. Like I've always said, if somebody wants to tailgate me and then whip around me and fly down the road and cut me off and speed off, I always try to tell myself, well, that guy he's probably about to poop his pants. Maybe he's just trying to get to the next intersection so he can hit the bathroom at the Quick Trip or something. I just kind of tell myself that so that way I don't hold it against him. Like, whatever, man. Do you want to speed and get around me like that? Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't hurt me. I mean, you're the one burning all the gas.
Right.
I'm going 5 miles over the speed limit, probably.
But I had other things, be kind, shake hands, make eye contact.
Shake hands, but wash your hands, people.
See, you're already taking the path.
Trust but verify, Kevin.
I'm
just a
smile.
hypochondriac. Yeah, smiling at somebody is huge. Like when somebody says, "Hey, how you doing?" and you smile at them and be like, "Hey, I'm having a great day, man. How are you doing?" They might feel a little awkward, but I bet they're going to appreciate it.
And you know what? When you talk to someone on the phone, you know right away whether or not they're smiling or not when they answer that phone. You know right away. You could tell just through the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Your voice sounds different when you smile when you talk on a phone versus not. You can tell.
Yeah. I have been told countless times, dude, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, what's up with you? And I'm like, I'm having a great day, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Just my face. I just look angry all the time, I think. But so I have to really, a smile doesn't come naturally to my face. So I have to consciously show, hey man, I'm happy to see you. I'm not mad at you. Like, I'm happy to see you.
Right. And also realize that it's not about you. It's not about
No.
me. If your focus is me,
Oh yeah, that's
you're going to
miserable.
lose out.
Yeah.
People are going to see right through you.
So I heard Matthew McConaughey on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about how being kind to people and doing nice things and is actually a selfish act because it makes you feel better. He said it's not bad selfish. It's not. I'm not saying he wasn't using selfish in a like saying you're a selfish person. He's saying it's kind of a selfish act to, you're consciously doing nice things for other people because it's going to make you feel better and all this other stuff. But I was like, is that really true? Are you doing it just to make yourself feel better? You shouldn't be. You should just be trying to make the other person feel better.
Yes. I don't think he's closing the loop on
I
that.
kind of understand what he was saying, but it was like he was almost there, but not really. Right.
So I think where that comes into play, let's be specific. Let's say it's a normal day at work.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's already there. I come in just a couple minutes later than I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And I bring in, McDonald's breakfast for everybody.
The old trick.
Hey, everybody, I got breakfast for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, why'd you do that? Oh, I was just thinking about you, and yeah, you feel good about it. But that is an example of maybe the selfish kindness.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you buy breakfast because you're late?
Or did you buy breakfast because you're trying to show off for everybody?
Yeah, you're trying to buy brownie points, man. You're trying to get
Yeah, and you weren't late. You just decided to do it. So, do what the Bible says. Let your left hand give without your right hand knowing.
Yeah.
Right? Don't give and expect something in return.
Right.
It's about, I'm all in on being grateful and giving and helping all day long and complimenting because I do feel better the more I do it.
Mm-hmm. But don't brag about it.
And I want other people to feel good about it.
You're not
it's two ways.
But you're not keeping a ledger and then be like, oh yeah, I remember last Wednesday I brought McDonald's for breakfast, man. You owe me. That's evil, really. That's not good.
Right. So I mean, I actually wrote that down. Give without others even knowing. Leave it on someone's desk. Don't ever say it was you. And someone says, "Oh my gosh, what's this?"
Mm-hmm.
And
did
you
feels
do that?
Great.
No, I think that thing's great. I don't know who did it.
Yeah, that's a great feeling to have that little secret of like you did something for somebody and nobody knows.
You feel good about it.
Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, pay it forward.
Yeah.
That there's plenty of times, you're in a gas station, person behind you might have a soda or whatever. Just say, I'm going to get theirs. Yeah. And no other reason than you're just going to do it.
What about when you see the people on the side of the road holding a sign and it's the same dude that's been out there every day for the past, like he's out there 6 months. I'm thinking about, the Highway 100 off 44 when you're coming home. There's the gas station there. There's always, it's either a man or a woman, but they have the same sign. And we get off 44 to hit 100 and they're always right there on the corner. And the first thought that pops into my head is like, man, these people, God, what are these people doing? Just go to the gas station right there, see if they're hiring. I'm sure they need somebody to, but then you think like, that's terrible. I think that maybe they have a mental health issue. Maybe they're whatever the case may be.
Or maybe they are cheating the system.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's not for me to judge.
I always keep some cash on me. I always give it those street corner things if I'm at the light.
Giving $1 is not going to hurt you, man.
And I always do it. And again, it's a combination of giving, yes. And I also look at it as a bit of duty and, following what the instructions are, because the Bible again says you may have entertained angels and not even know it.
Yep.
So that person I just gave cash to, they may or may not be real in their their homelessness or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But I may have entertained an angel and not even known it by giving them cash.
Also, one day in the future, you might have an opportunity to share the gospel with them. You don't know that. You don't know when that day, it could happen where they say, you've come by here and 6 times you've given me $1 and why do you do that? Why do you keep giving me money and I'm still standing here getting money? You'd have an opportunity to share the gospel with somebody who's not saved. You never know.
Mhm. It comes backwards a little bit too. Own up to your own mistakes.
Yeah.
Don't try to deflect.
No.
If you know you were a part of or you made the mistake, just own up to it and say, I'm sorry I did make that mistake. And, will you forgive me, or I won't let it happen again.
Yeah. Sometimes it's weird, like the reaction people have when you're honestly own up to a mistake. They're kind of like, oh, I didn't expect that.
Many times I've seen
and they're just
over
like,
the years,
all
people
right,
will
man.
stand down.
Yeah, it's very disarming because it's not common.
We pray to have our debts forgiven, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you forgive someone else's debt?
Dude, I was just talking about that today with
someone
Caitlin.
owes you money. They might owe you, $10, $20.
Yeah.
You're like, am I ever going to get that $20 from that person? How about you just say, you know what? I don't need it.
That's why I don't lend money to people. If I have money to help somebody and they ask me for help, it's a gift. And I even feel weird saying that. I don't want to brag about that. Don't be calling me asking me for money.
Right? Well, you're not bragging. I mean, part of the show is we're trying to put out, some bits of wisdom.
Well, there's like the friends and family discount too.
Yeah.
So like, let's say, my pipes busted down here in the basement, and my buddy owns a plumbing company. One of my best friends for my whole entire life, and he's like, man, I'll cut you a deal, and we'll do. I was like, no, there's no deals. I need help. You have the skills and the equipment to do it. Let me pay you what you charge. Like, you run a business, man. That's how you feed your family. I'm not going to take advantage of you just because you're my friend.
Here's one. If you're a family member, you're a dad, and you're playing games with your kids, let them win every once in a while.
Yeah.
Don't always be so competitive that you got to feel like you got to kill your kids in every game you ever play. Let them win once in a while. Let them have their, their
glory.
victories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we could talk about my little brother. We play basketball in the driveway, and I would, just to get him to play with me, I would say, all right, we're going to play to 10, and I'm going to spot you 9 points. So all you have to do is score one basket, and you'll win. And he'd be like, all right, I'll play. And then I'd end up winning. And I just crushed him. It's like, I could, he was just, to this day, if I, hey man, you want to go play some basketball? He'll just cuss me out. He doesn't want to play. He's like, well, I beat you one time. The one time he actually beat me. I spotted him some points and he beat me. That's what he's like hanging on to.
And then when you lose, celebrate with them.
Yeah.
But I've been having this challenge internally with myself ever since my cancer diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
How I'm going to live my life differently than what it was before. Be a light in someone's world. Not take things so seriously. Not be stressed about the world around me. And it's a challenge. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a challenge. I mean, it's been 10 years since I had my cancer, almost 10 years, 9 years. And, I still get challenged with getting pulled back into the gutter where I was before, and I have to pull myself out. People want to tell their funny jokes and they may be offensive. I may grin. I may walk away.
Yeah.
I try to limit those reactions, but what I find out, and it's kind of coming back full circle again with me. A lot of self-reflection during our Katy Trail ride, and training up for it, because you spend a lot of time on a bike and you just have the wind in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And the world around me, the events, things that are going on. And I'm realizing that I am not doing the things that I said I would do, and wanting to be a better person. When I say a better person, not that I'm trying to be better, but again, I want to be a light in the world, to a point where, the stress and the things that are going on in the world aren't going to affect me personally, because it's not my world.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's not. And so I'm going to make the world I'm in the best it can be. And those around me that I interact with, I'm going to be salt and light to them. Want to talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you in a conversation, but I'm going to be a great listener at the same time. And last night, this stuff's all coming together. And then last night, Gail and I watched a documentary from Netflix, and it was on the life of Gene Wilder. Now, if anybody knows Gene Wilder, it was a comedic actor. He did Young Frankenstein, Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother.
Yeah.
Silver Streak with Richard Pryor.
Blazing Saddles.
Charlie
and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, Willy Wonka. So, I mean, there's a lot of great movies and things that he did. And what I learned about him, and they don't talk about it in the documentary, it's what I pulled out of the documentary, because he ended up dying of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
From Alzheimer's complications. And what I learned from it is his whole life, and really as he started to mature into his life and into his older years, is he just wanted to enjoy the world around him, bring joy into other people's lives, and not miss out on a moment in which he couldn't be a part of something good.
Yeah.
And that really stuck into my mind last night. And I really started to think about that. And this morning, I go on a morning hike. I come back, and one of my daughters tells me that they're going to go to an Asian bakery. And they asked if I wanted to go. And I didn't say no, but I said, let me think about it. And it was we were going to get back close to when I had to leave to come do the podcast recording.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this, that block of 2.5 hours in my morning was going to be gone if I went with them.
Yeah.
I made the decision to go because I thought about the documentary last night. I'm going, I'll go.
Yeah.
And we went. And I even talked to them while we were there. We're at this Asian bakery. It's down off of Olive in University City, right on the outskirts or right around there. And I mentioned it to them right then and there while we were sitting there and we're trying these pastries that we've never had before, made by Asians, and them putting their little magic into whatever it was that they were making.
Mm-hmm.
And, if I said no and didn't go, then I would have missed out on laughing. I would have missed out on singing songs together in the car. I would have missed out on taking funny pictures with my daughters.
Yeah.
I would have missed out on trying delicious Asian pastries from this place. And having talks and just having a good time and being able to put my arms around my daughters and hug them while we were sitting there and eating.
Yeah.
All that would have been a big negative. I would have missed out on all that. And my day is better already because of the 90 minutes I spent with them before I came over here.
And their day, think about it, like Daddy came along and we had a great time.
Yeah, they may have still had a decent time, whatever.
Sure.
But now suddenly Dad's included in their thing and still everybody's having a great time.
Yeah.
And that really, we could talk all day long, but I think that example is what I'm trying to convey to others is be a positive person in the world right here around you, your close circle, and just watch it spread out and see what it does to your own life and your own world.
Dude, what do we talk about at work? Like my philosophy at work is be present. Right? So I'm in charge of environmental health and safety for the company. And my philosophy is just be present. I need to be out there where the work is being done to show them that, there are a few different things. One is I care about you. It's hot out and I'm out here too. I care. And two, I care about you because I want to make sure you're doing everything safely. And three, I'm just here to say, hey, how you doing? And just got to get a feel for what's going on in the around my area of concern. And it's the same thing with our families, is be present. This was a huge thing with me when my boys were younger, that no matter what I was doing, I don't care how tired I am, I don't care what time of day it is. If they want to wrestle, I'm going to drop what I'm doing and we're wrestling. Or if they want to play catch or go kick the soccer ball or do something with dad, I will stop whatever I'm doing to go be present with my children.
Yeah, because that task will always be there, but the moment or the memory
Yeah.
will disappear.
What am I missing out on? 30 minutes of TV that was just going to rot my brain anyway? So like my childhood, I didn't have that. I didn't have a dad who would drop everything. And maybe that's what we'll talk about that's another topic, I guess. Growing up as a man, had the dynamic, father-son dynamic, and you feel like you're missing out on something. Now my dad's reaching the end of his life. How do I deal with that? How have I chosen to deal with it? We could talk about that. Maybe that's the topic for today, right and wrong. What's right and what's wrong. I could have hate in my heart towards my dad. There's a lot of things that I could be pissed off about and that I missed out on as a child. But I'm choosing to forgive my father and enjoy the last days that he has on earth here.
Yeah.
To be present with my dad and to show him that I love. Like I moved my family halfway across the country to help my family. And I just felt in my heart that was the right thing to do. I feel like God led me to do that. Mm-hmm. And it's a crazy thing when you follow God's will, how easy everything is.
I had a decent relationship with my dad, and there was periods of time, and there was one period of time where we did not talk. I got kicked out of the house.
Oh yeah, you told the story, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you tell it on the podcast?
I did.
Okay, I thought so.
But over time, he and I reconciled, and we had a good relationship. Mm-hmm. But there was also a period of time where I was starting to rebuild some anger against my dad, as he and I were both getting older.
Yeah.
And I decided to write myself a letter, and it was a letter that I wrote, and I just dumped all the anger and bitterness on my dad in this letter that I was going to write to him. And then when I finished writing the letter, I went outside and I burned it.
Nice.
And I was like, that's it. I'm done.
It's over.
Yeah, I got it all out of me, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of moved.
My own little ceremony.
That's good. When I came here, I still had anger and I was like, I'm here for mom, and dad's gonna die, and I'm gonna help my mom, and I'm gonna be here for her. And God did something in me that I started taking pity on my dad. Like he's, also I started having dementia and Parkinson's and cancer and all these other issues that, like, what is the point of hanging on to this anger that I have for decades that I was so angry about? What is the point? Who am I hurting? Who am I getting revenge on? Or who am I? It's just me. I'm the only one who's being hurt by it. So I just made the conscious decision. I'm done with that. I'm going to make the effort to love my dad, which it took an effort on my part. But I think about my relationship with God and how I behaved even after I was saved, that I turned my back on God. What do they call it? Like backsliding, I think they call it. I jumped off a cliff. Like I was just like, I'm out of here. And, with my son, I'm like, okay, when is enough? Like I'm frustrated with my son. When am I going to say that's enough? I'm done. Immediately I'm hit with never. I'm never going to be done. It'll never be enough to where I give up on him, because God never gave up on me. And I thank God that immediately pops into my mind. It's not me thinking that. It's God working through me. Same thing with my dad. And it's the same thing with all these situations that we're talking about, this stuff that's going on in the world that we could be angry about. There's been I don't know, well, over 100,000 Christians that were murdered in Africa by these Muslim terrorists. And, we could easily be angry and get a group of guys together, mercenaries, and go over and do a crusade just like they did back in the day. What's going to stop us from doing that? We have the means to do it. We could go take out our vengeance and wipe these people off the face of the earth easily. But what are we called to do? All these people that were murdered, they're all in heaven right now. They're martyrs. They're in heaven in a much better place. So that's what I told my son about Charlie Kirk. Like, dude, yeah, it was horrible what happened to him. Terrible, but he's with his Father in heaven now. He's in a much better place than we are. He's probably looking down at us like, those poor souls, like they're still there, and that's such a strange way to go about life, because it's not what's in the zeitgeist. That's not what's popular nowadays. It's all about self-improvement and karma, or whatever the heck you want to say. I just feel like it takes a conscious effort, just like your physical fitness, your diet. It takes a conscious effort. Spiritually, God is working in you, but you have to accept that gift. You have to make an effort to. And for me, I don't know about other Christians. For me, it's a struggle every day. It's a struggle.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I mean, it says in the Bible, if you are a believer, you will be persecuted.
Yeah,
it says it.
I told you, this is a funny people. I don't care what people think about this, but when me and Caitlin made the decision, we're gonna start going to church, and we're gonna start reading our Bible and living our lives the way that we're called to live it. I said, you need to buckle up and be ready for what's coming, because it's going to get difficult. We're going to start fighting with each other. Things are going to happen. It's called spiritual warfare. And I'm a full believer in it. That's and sure enough, the pipes collapsed in our basement. We had to dig up our basement. Our air conditioner failed. We're bickering and fighting with each other, blah, blah, blah. And every time I'd be like, okay, let's pray about this. Let's go to church. Let's,
How many people argue on the way to church?
Oh, dude, we did it the other week.
Or argue on the way home from church?
We did it we had a huge blow up that morning. And then we were like, should we talk? We were talking about skipping out church because we had all this junk to do and we're arguing. I said, no, we're going to church. Mm-hmm. And that's where, as a man, that's what you're called to do. Lead your family spiritually. You need to be the one to say, no, we're going to church. We're going to, let's pray about this. This is spiritual warfare. This isn't what it seems like right now. That's not easy to do, man. It's so easy to just give in and fight back, because that's natural instinct for us, right? As humans, to fight back, to get revenge, to hurt you more than you hurt me, type of thing. And it seems unnatural to say, but time out.
Yeah, if you want to see if evil or good is natural within ourselves, whether or not we're in a fallen world or not. You want to know how you're going to know? You put two babies, toddlers together.
Right.
Maybe old enough they could sit up, not necessarily running around yet, but you set them, you put it right next to each other. Give one a piece of chocolate, mm-hmm. and see what happens. Is that one going to share it? Or is the one going to try and take it, and then the one who has it is going to argue or fight and not give it to you?
Yeah.
That's how you determine whether or not evil is in our system or not. And evil is in our system.
Yeah, we are a fallen people. And
got to make a difference.
The only, I always tell everybody, when we have a spiritual conversation or talking about God, I always end up just saying, man, I only know what, the answers are in the Bible, and I am just a sinner who is saved by the grace of God. It's really kind of that simple, but that is a very complicated statement.
Well, it is, because it doesn't end there,
No.
right? We're saved by grace and grace alone,
Right.
and not by works.
No.
However, works are an extension of the grace we receive.
They're the
from
fruit,
God.
right? That's what they call the fruit of
Right.
it. Yeah.
So if you've been saved and you're a believer, but you have no fruit, then you got some issues.
Yeah.
And people watch you all day long. If they know you go to church, they know you're a believer. They're going to watch you in every single moment, see how you react and how you perform and how you behave. All the time, you're being looked at when you don't even know you're being looked at.
Yeah.
And how are you reacting to that? Or not how you're reacting to it, but what example are you showing to someone who was thinking about maybe going down your path,
Yeah.
but suddenly they see how you behave and going, why would I do that? I can do that and not be a follower.
Yeah. And you got to be real careful too, not to go down the health, wealth. What do they call it? Health, wealth, and prosperity gospel.
Oh yeah. Oof.
Going
don't
about
do
like,
that.
oh yeah, I'm saved by God, so I'm going to be a millionaire and
Yeah.
drive Bentleys and blah blah blah. I mean, maybe that would happen. I don't know. Maybe that's what your calling in life is to be. Maybe, but
Your blessings are going to be different in different ways.
spiritual gifts, right? But everybody's different. Everybody's blessings are different, whatever. But I would be willing to bet it's not a Bentley or a Lamborghini or something like that. But
No.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to say what God's going to do. So that, yeah, this is the big thing. The whole Charlie Kirk situation, the assassination, has the thing that I've noticed is that it has brought his Christianity, his faith, above his politics. So the things that you see now online are more about his faith in God, his belief in Jesus, and the gospel message that led his life. That's what I'm seeing. Maybe that's just the algorithm showing me things that I'm interested in.
Right.
But because I don't watch CNN, I don't watch Fox News, I don't watch any of that stuff. But the amount of content that's out there where Charlie Kirk was sharing his faith with people, I saw that there's like an 1.5 hour long podcast where he did with all of these OnlyFans girls and all these people, and it was the debate about political stuff, men versus women, blah blah, all this blah blah blah. But he ended the show by sharing the gospel with them, saying, "Look, I know we all disagree politically, but there's one thing that I know for sure: that God loves you, that we are all created in God's image." Whether we agree or disagree, and he went through the whole gospel. And they were just like, well, thank you for being respectful. I appreciate it. He was like, I love every one of you, even though we disagree and I don't agree with what you do for a living and all that kind of stuff, but I still love you people.
What if we did a 7-day challenge?
Okay.
So by 7 days, I mean from the time of this podcast to the next one.
Uh-huh.
And in the 7-day challenge, what we're going to do is we're going to avoid the news media.
That's
we're going to
easy.
avoid social media.
Okay.
And we're going to we're going to practice positivity as much as possible. Right? We're going to avoid argument or debate from now until our next podcast. So 7 days.
Okay.
Are you up for that?
I'm definitely up for that.
And then we'll revisit. We will revisit that next week and see how the changes were.
Yeah. Be salt and light this week. Right?
So
can you explain salt and light to everybody?
Well, the light is what we were talking about before, the light of the world. So you are going to be a positive influence to those around you. Again, good-natured, having that smile.
Like when you walk into a room, everybody gets happier.
Yes.
Because you're there.
Right. versus when you walk out and everybody gets happier.
Yeah.
You want to be happy when people walk in, not when you walk out. And we've seen it both ways in our careers.
Oh,
We've
sure.
seen it. And and then the salt is the honesty and the reality of the world that's around us.
Yeah.
Um,
Because salt can increase the flavor of something, but it can also be unpleasant,
right.
but helpful.
And it's a preservative
Mhm.
also. So, and there's such a thing as good salt and bad salt. When salt is bad, it loses its saltiness. It's no good anymore. So you want to be that salt. You want to be positively honest, not negatively honest.
Yeah, not critical.
Right.
There's
Be
a difference between
positively
criticism
honest.
and honest. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so that's what's going to get you.
I guess honesty would be criticism with love, right? Maybe.
Yeah, but you want to not use the word criticism.
No. But you can honestly be, praising somebody
Yeah.
instead of criticizing.
Yeah. And then corrective or positive feedback.
What we call coaching.
Yes.
Right?
Mentoring.
You're not punishing somebody, you're coaching them. There's a big difference.
Yes. I think if we did that for 7 days, I think you and we should do that, revisit ourselves again next week. And anybody who's listening, I would challenge you to do the 7-day challenge too.
Yeah, join us.
Take the news media out, take the social media out. You can do without it for 1 week.
Absolutely.
That's all we're asking.
You're going to feel a hit on your dopamine levels for sure. If you get off your phone,
replace it with something else.
Replace it with
acts of kindness.
Sunshine and go for a walk.
Yeah, all this week is supposed to be sunshine and beautiful weather.
Yeah.
At least for our area.
Yeah.
And for those of you in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, probably not UK.
Right. But those of you in the United Kingdom, the thought occurred to me this week, I'm going to buy me a St. George's flag, and we're going to add that to our flags for our studio.
I don't know about that.
That's the white flag with the red cross.
Yeah, I know, but we'll discuss that later. That kind of goes against my DNA. But
we'll put it in my own studio then. In support of you guys in the UK trying to fight for your identity.
They just came out with the digital. What is it? The digital IDs. I can't remember. We'll talk about it. I'll have to search it after the show.
Yeah. But I challenge everybody, do the 7-day challenge with us and steer yourself positive, do acts of kindness, random acts of kindness throughout the next 7 days. Get off the social media and the news media. Don't even look at the news.
Don't participate. Don't consume it.
Not at all.
Consume good things. Put good things into your body. And if you don't have to tell us that you're going to join us in this participation, just do it on your own. That's totally cool. If you want to talk about it and tell us about it, you can contact us on Facebook and X and YouTube. You can comment on our YouTube channel. Yes. You can comment on Spotify. If you like and comment, it kind of boosts us up and the algorithm, gets more eyeballs on us. That's super helpful, especially YouTube and Spotify. You can email us at showmemk@gmail.com. If you have a topic for a show, you want to give us a bourbon suggestion, you can do that. If you want to be a guest on the show, even you can be a guest. That we would love to have you on if you have a story to tell. And I think that's it. Kevin, do you have anything else to talk about?
I don't.
This is a great show. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we love our listeners.
This is a stripped down version of the studio. We're just sitting in my empty basement right now.
Right. We love our listeners.
Yeah, thank you so much. Especially our international listeners and people in different states.
Yeah.
It's super cool, man. I always check the analytics. That's my favorite thing to look at on Spotify, to see where people are listening from.
It's fun.
It's really cool. I would love to have some interaction with these people back and forth. I'd like to talk to them.
Right. Appreciate the bourbon you brought in today.
Do you really, though? 1 star?
Well, next week I'm going to bring a different 4-grain bourbon.
Yeah.
And then we will do some comparisons.
Just like we talked about, you can't appreciate the good bourbons without the bad ones.
Right.
Right? Because if they're all top shelf, then you're just like, it's kind of the same. Right. Okay. So thank you very much, folks, for joining us. And we will talk to you next week.
Peace out.